Picture this. It is the last weeks of the year, the lights are up in the city, your feed is overflowing with cozy couples in matching pajamas, families laughing around tables, friends clinking glasses at perfectly lit parties, and people posting sentimental captions about gratitude, growth, and magic. You are sitting on your couch, maybe in the dim light of your own apartment, maybe with family noise in the background, and you feel this strange, heavy mixture in your chest. Part of you wants to feel what those pictures seem to promise, a clean, warm, meaningful holiday feeling. And another part quietly knows that your reality is not going to look like that. Maybe you are single when you thought you would not be. Maybe your family gatherings are tense or complicated. Maybe you are exhausted from the entire year, grieving something that happened months ago, or simply numb. Still, you keep hoping that at some point during these days, a switch will flip and you will finally feel it. The moment of peace, joy, connection, or closure that proves your year meant something. When it does not arrive, or when it arrives only for 5 minutes before dissolving into stress, your brain whispers a painful sentence. Everyone else seems to be living the holidays correctly. What is wrong with me? If any part of that sounds familiar, this video is for you. By the end of it, you will have a way to step off the treadmill of chasing the perfect holiday feeling and into something quieter, but much more real. A way to meet this season as you actually are, with the nervous system you have, the relationships you have, the history you have, and still create moments of meaning that do not depend on performing a flawless movie scene. In a few minutes, I will walk you through a simple toolkit you can use right now in this actual holiday season. But first, we need to name the pattern that is stealing your joy before anything has even started. Let us call it the holiday mirage. The holiday mirage is the emotional illusion that tells you there is one correct way to feel during this time of year, and that if you do not feel that way, you are failing at life. It is not just about images, it is about a story. The story goes like this. By the end of the year, you should feel grateful, reflective, connected, hopeful, and somehow emotionally complete, as if all loose threads of the year tied themselves into a beautiful bow. Inside that story, any feelings that do not fit the script, like sadness, anger, loneliness, boredom, or confusion, feel like glitches you must hide or fix quickly. The mirage promises that if you attend the right gatherings, decorate enough, buy the right gifts, make the right resolutions, or do the right rituals, the correct feeling will appear and wash everything else away. But like a real mirage, the closer you walk toward it, the further it moves. In practice, the holiday mirage shows up in small, specific ways. You might sit at a dinner table and suddenly notice that you are not feeling the warmth you think you should be feeling. And instead of simply noticing that, you immediately attack yourself. Why am I so disconnected? What is wrong with me? You might spend days trying to engineer the perfect evening or the perfect photo and then feel strangely empty once the moment is over, because the pressure to capture it crushed your ability to be in it. Or you might look back on the year and feel that your mix of emotions is too messy for the tidy reflection post you imagined, so you avoid reflecting at all. Underneath these reactions is a deep, very human longing. The longing for confirmation that your life is on track, that you are not alone, that you are not wasting your time here. Holiday culture offers you a ready-made answer to that longing in the form of a mood. If you can just feel the right thing, it says, you can rest. Psychologically, this is tied to something researchers call affect labeling and social scripts. We learn early on that certain events are supposed to come with certain emotions. Birthdays with happiness, graduations with pride, holidays with warmth and belonging. These scripts are not inherently bad, they can create shared meaning. The problem starts when you treat them as obligations, not possibilities. Instead of asking, what am I actually feeling right now? You ask, why am I not feeling what I am supposed to? And that question quietly turns your real emotional life into evidence that you are broken. The hidden cost of living inside the holiday mirage is huge. First, it adds a layer of shame on top of whatever you are already going through. If you are grieving, you are not just sad, you are ashamed of being sad at the wrong time. If you are exhausted, you are not just tired, you are also failing to be festive enough. Second, it disconnects you from your own experience. You spend the season monitoring yourself instead of inhabiting yourself. You watch your reactions from the outside, judging them instead of feeling them and responding with care. Third, it keeps you stuck in comparison. The more you chase a specific feeling, the more you scan other people for proof that they have it. Every smile becomes potential evidence that they are closer to the mirage than you, even though you have no idea what their inner world looks like. I want you to hear this clearly. Your brain did not invent this pattern in isolation. It learned it from somewhere. From movies, from family expectations, from religious narratives, from advertising, from previous years when someone told you not to ruin the mood, to be grateful, to smile for the camera, to put your feelings on hold because it is a special day. If you find yourself chasing a perfect holiday feeling, that is not a personal defect. It is a learned survival strategy. Your mind is trying to protect you from being seen as ungrateful, difficult, or broken. You do not need to punish yourself for that. But you also do not have to keep living this way because it is exhausting. So let us build a different approach together. One that does not require you to be a different person before January. The first tool is what we can call the emotional permission slip. It sounds simple, but it is incredibly powerful because it goes right to the root of the mirage. The permission slip is a sentence you consciously give yourself. I am allowed to feel exactly what I feel this season, even if it does not match the picture in my head. That is the concept. To use it in practice, you add 2 extra steps. Step 1. You name your actual state in concrete, non-dramatic words. Not what you think you should be feeling, but what is actually present. For example, right now I feel a mix of tired, slightly numb, and a little anxious about tomorrow. Or right now I feel both grateful to be with these people and tense in my body. Step 2. You imagine literally handing yourself a small mental piece of paper with the words, "It makes sense that you feel this way." That sentence is crucial. You are not just tolerating your feelings, you are acknowledging that they fit your context. Maybe you had a hard year. Maybe there are unresolved conflicts in your family. Maybe your body is on edge from all the stimulation. Maybe you are introverted in an extroverted environment. Emotional permission does not mean you like the feeling. It means you stop treating it as evidence that you are defective. A small experiment. The next time you notice that you are not feeling how you think you should feel, pause for 10 seconds and quietly say to yourself, "Of course I feel this way, given everything." And then see if you can add one specific reason. Of course I feel flat. I have been in survival mode for months. Or of course I feel lonely. I've lost people this year. This simple acknowledgement often softens the inner critic enough to let you breathe. The second tool is the middle moment lens. The holiday mirage lives in extremes. It says that this season should be either magical or ruined, either deeply meaningful or a complete write-off. The middle moment lens invites you to pay attention to the small, in-between moments where real life actually lives. Instead of asking, was this day good or bad, you ask, were there 10 seconds in which something felt genuinely okay, warm, or real? This matters because your nervous system remembers repeated micro-experiences more than it remembers perfect cinematic scenes. Maybe there is a moment when you are washing dishes and the warm water on your hands feels grounding. Maybe there is a moment in a conversation where someone says something honest and you feel a tiny flicker of connection. Maybe there is a moment when you are alone with a cup of tea and you feel your shoulders drop for 3 breaths. Those moments are easy to miss when you are scanning for a big experience, but they are exactly where your body finds respite. To use the middle moment lens, you can ask yourself at the end of each day during this season, if I look only for 5 to 10 second moments that felt less pressured or more real, what do I notice? You can even keep a tiny note on your phone where you jot down one middle moment per day. It might feel trivial, but what you are doing is training your attention away from the harsh binary judgment and toward nuance. Over time, that nuance is what breaks the spell of the mirage. You realize that even in a complicated day, there were slivers of okayness, and that counts. The third tool is something I will call mixed feeling fluency. One of the most damaging parts of the holiday mirage is the idea that your emotions should line up neatly. Happy day, happy feelings. In reality, the human emotional system is designed to hold mixed states. You can feel grateful and resentful, relieved and sad, lonely and peaceful all in the same evening. Mixed feeling fluency means you practice naming at least 2 different emotions at once without deciding that one cancels the other. For example, instead of saying I am ungrateful because I feel sad even though I am with my family, you would say I feel both grateful to have people here and sad about the distance I still feel. Instead of I am stupid for feeling anxious at a party I chose to attend, you say I feel both curious about these people and socially anxious. This might seem like a language trick, but it has deep psychological effects. When you allow your inner world to be complex, you stop trying to force it into a one-word verdict. That, in turn, lowers the pressure to feel some pure version of joy. You can let a small moment of contentment exist without demanding that it erase all your other feelings, and you can allow your sadness or irritability without believing that it contaminates everything. A practical way to build mixed feeling fluency is to use the phrase part of me. When you notice a strong reaction, try saying part of me feels X and part of me feels Y. Part of me wants to be here and part of me wants to leave. Part of me is hopeful about next year and part of me is scared it will be more of the same. If you want, you can pause this video later and write one sentence that starts with part of me about how you feel this season. You might even share it in the comments to see how many other people live in that same complexity. The fourth tool is the tiny anchor ritual. One of the reasons the holidays feel intense is that your usual routines get disrupted. Sleep, meals, movement, alone time. Your nervous system loses its anchors. The tiny anchor ritual is about giving your body one small, predictable moment each day that is just for you, regardless of what else is happening. This is not a grand morning routine. It is something you can do in 3 to 5 minutes. For example, you might choose that every evening. Before bed, you will sit on the edge of your bed or on the floor, put your hand on your chest, and take 10 slow breaths, each time naming how your day actually felt without trying to fix it. Or you might decide that every morning, before you open your phone, you will drink 3 sips of water mindfully and ask yourself one gentle question like, what do I need more of and less of today? The power of the tiny anchor is not in the action itself, it is in the message it sends. Even during this chaotic, scripted, socially heavy time, there is a small island of reality where I meet myself. That island becomes a reference point. On days when the mirage feels especially strong, you can remember I still have that moment tonight where I am allowed to be as I am. Your system starts to trust that there is some continuity across days, and that calms it down. Underneath all these tools, there is a deeper philosophical shift that you and I are inviting into this season. Instead of treating the end of the year as a test of whether you can achieve a specific emotional state on schedule, you begin to treat it as a chapter in an ongoing relationship with yourself. The question becomes less, how do I finally feel what I am supposed to feel, and more, how can I be in honest contact with my inner world while the world around me is performing something else? That shift has consequences. It means you stop waiting for a big cinematic moment to validate your existence and start valuing quieter forms of meaning. The moment you choose not to fake enthusiasm past your limit. The moment you step outside for air instead of exploding at someone. The moment you let a tear fall in the bathroom and tell yourself it is okay, even today. It also means you stop comparing your insides to other people's outsides quite so aggressively. When you understand that mixed feelings, numbness, or grief are normal guests at the holiday table, you can look at someone else's smiling photo and quietly remember they might have their own complicated inner story too. You do not have to assume that everyone else has reached the magical correct feeling while you are the only one outside the door. If you recognize yourself in the holiday mirage, you might even pause this video at some point and write down one sentence your brain keeps repeating about this season. Something like you should be happier or you always ruin the mood. Then see if you can answer that sentence from a wiser, kinder part of you. Given what I have lived through this year, it makes sense that I feel exactly how I feel, and I can still create small moments that are true. As we arrive at the end of this conversation, let us gather the pieces into something simple you can remember. First, you notice when the holiday mirage is active, when you are monitoring your feelings against an invisible script and declaring yourself wrong. Second, you use the emotional permission slip to accept your real state as valid, even if it is not what you wanted. Third, you put on the middle moment lens and look for small, ordinary seconds of okayness instead of chasing a grand transformation. Fourth, you practice mixed feeling fluency so that your emotions can be complex without becoming a verdict on your character. Fifth, you give yourself one tiny anchor ritual each day as a way of signaling, I am here with myself, no matter what this season demands. Noticing the pattern alone is already progress, because awareness creates a gap between the script and your choice. In that gap, you get to decide how you will treat yourself. You may not be able to control who texts you, how your relatives behave, or what your feed looks like, but you can control whether you add an extra layer of self-attack on top of whatever you are already carrying. If this video helped even a small part of you feel less broken and more understood in how you move through the holidays, let that be your first middle moment. The moment you realize that there is nothing wrong with you for not feeling the perfect holiday feeling on command. And if you want to keep building a real toolkit for better thinking, clearer communication, and deeper self-understanding, that is exactly what we are doing together here on Mind Unlocked. Like this video, if it gave you one idea you want to try this season, share it with someone who quietly struggles every year to live up to the holiday mirage, and subscribe so you can keep adding tools to your mental toolkit for better thinking, and carry them with you into every season of your life. Not to force yourself into a script, but to stay in honest, compassionate contact with the mind you actually have.